Now, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, well, real life and real life diabetes management. So I am moving. So tomorrow is April 1st. We have the keys to our new place. We're actually just moving 2 blocks away, but in the middle of a big city. That is a big move. So we're on the 8th floor now. Everything has to go down, go 2 blocks and go up to a 5th floor. So it's going to be a little crazy over the course of the next couple weeks. But because of that, you'll see my shelves are emptying. I have some boxes back here. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to be next week for this video. I might be in this empty room. My desk won't have been moved by then, but I might also be in the new place. So we'll just have to see. Now, the question comes up a lot in our groups to say, you know what? Life is crazy right now. I have these things going on. I have all these activities with kids. I have all this other stress. I might be going through a move or, whatever the case might be. What happens to diabetes management, or how can I keep my diabetes management where it's at and not let it slide? This happens with travel and all sorts of other, real life situations. I do what I call a holding pattern. So the advantage that I have right now is I'm staying in the same city. I'm going to be going to my same grocery stores. I'm going to be able to cook at one of these places. It's not like some of my previous moves where I've moved across the world. I've done that several times. And yes, that is so much harder to maintain schedules and to maintain food. But in this case, all I have to do is maintain my stress levels. Somewhat easier said than done, but I'm working really hard to keep my diabetes management in a holding pattern. So that means I'm not trying to incorporate anything new at this point. I am just trying to maintain what I've been doing. And if I can do that, fantastic. So I know there's going to be more activity, there's going to be more stress. I tend to be a pretty easygoing person and kind of roll with the punches when it comes to, things happening and movers and packing up and family stress and things like that. But certainly it gets to me too. So I might have to make some adjustments based on that. But the key point is I am going to try my very best. I'm going to try extra hard to maintain what I'm eating, maintain my schedule for food, and to work on some of my self-care practices to maintain my stress level. And that might be, taking the dog for a little extra walk, getting some sunshine and fresh air. That might be doing some more yoga. That might be just, talk therapy with my husband and just getting stuff off my chest. So as far as diabetes management, the key is when things get stressful, put yourself in a holding pattern. Don't start new things, but also don't let your diabetes management slide. That's what we need to focus on, because really, I've learned over all of these different moves that I've made, over all of these different countries I've lived in, that this stress is more than enough to deal with of all of these different things that are going on in life. If you also let diabetes management slide, you are going to be so much more reactive. You're going to have more highs and more lows as a result. That's going to add extra stress to your life. Plus, you're also not going to be feeling great, which means you're going to be dragging, you're going to be more tired. That's also going to add more stress to your life. So for me, personally, based on my experience of doing crazy stuff like this, is that I have to put my diabetes management in a holding pattern, do my very best to maintain what I have been doing here and to manage my personal stress levels. And for me, that means, like I said, being more proactive with my diabetes management, making sure I stay on schedule, because I know that is going to help me in the long run, and I'm going to keep my energy levels up, and I'm going to be able to get through this move with less stress and with a better mindset, and everything is just going to go better. So I hope that gives you some tools that you might be able to use. And when life gets stressful, which it will, we all know life is stressful. Things are up and down. There might be, less stressful times, sure, but, things happen and change happens. So when those things do happen, put yourself in that holding pattern and put diabetes management kind of front and center. You know, I'm going to do extra work at this point to maintain what I have going on right now so that I don't have to be reactive. And so I'm feeling my best going through this process. So that's my little Friday message for today. Let me know if this resonates with you. If you would like to hear more from me, I do send out a weekly email every week on Sundays, and it's really interesting because I have a great audience. I always request people send me a note back, and lots of times I get notes back. Sometimes it works for people and they're super thankful and they're like, wow, I've never thought about this before. This is such an interesting way to approach it. Other people say, you know what, this one didn't quite resonate with me. Have you thought about this? And it's always so fantastic to hear all of these varied perspectives because it really helps me to work through some of the, you know, some both sides of the story as far as this goes. As far as diabetes management goes in general, we talk about all sorts of stuff, everything from the very practical aspects of diabetes management all the way to, you know, how we show up every day for diabetes in our lives and, you know, healthy coping mechanisms and mindset and everything that goes along with life with a chronic condition. So anyway, I'm going to be dropping the link down below again. I do this almost every week because I want to give you guys an opportunity to join us there if you're interested. And we also do talk a little bit about some of our programs and offerings and new things coming up there as well. So if you want to join us, click the link down below. I think it's down below or off to the side, maybe, depending on where you're seeing this. And we'd love to have you join us on our email list. So thanks so much. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you next week. Like I said, I'm not quite sure if it'll be from this bare office or from my new space, but you're just going to have to tune in and see. Thanks so much. Take care. We'll see you next week.